again. Today we are going to talk about how to make a quiche, a dish that has kind of a bad reputation for making it yourself. A lot of people think it's very complicated, it's quite hard. I'm going to show you today that it's not complicated, it's not hard. You can make a quiche. The making process, less than 15 minutes. The baking process, just about an hour. So about an hour and a half from right now, you can be eating a delicious quiche. You'll love it. It's totally worth any effort that you have to go through to make this dish. Quiche is, of course, not an American dish in such as we didn't invent it. It was actually invented by the sort of French Germans in the territory that sort of they share over there. But over the years, it has been adopted by the Americans. It actually came from that sort of French area to Great Britain after World War II, and then over to the United States. It gained major popularity in about the 1950s. But it is something that now a lot of people like to make, and especially like to order at a restaurant, because again, there is this perception that this is something hard. It's not hard, but pretend that it's hard when people ask you, and then you'll feel awesome about yourself. To make a quiche, you need just a few simple ingredients. Of course, eggs and cream are going to be the staple, the base of any quiche that you might be making, and some sort of a crust. Originally, it was a bread crust. Today, we basically use a pie crust. So if you remember my pie crust recipe from when we did the apple pie, it'd be 1/3 cup of your shortening, 1 cup of your flour, and salt to taste. Add water to make it into the dough, and then bake that in your oven until it's solid at 450 degrees Fahrenheit, so just over 200 Celsius for about 10-15 minutes, just until it's set. That's all you have to do. That's quite easy. Beyond that, you'll need salt and pepper. You will need carrot, onion, and cheese. Now, of course, you can put anything else that you want to in your quiche. I don't actually like to eat a lot of meat, so I'm going to leave it out. But the quiche Lorraine, which is probably what you may have heard of if you've heard of a quiche, actually just started out with just these 2 ingredients and just bacon. So you can make it as simple as that, or you can add other things if you want to. Finally, to taste, salt and pepper. All you need to make a delicious quiche. So what you're going to do is you're just going to take your bowl, and you will add 4 eggs to your bowl, and you will add 1.5 cups of some kind of a milk liquid. So this, what I have here, is basically, it's a 20% cream. You can also use half and half if that's available to you. You can also use milk. The higher fat content, the more rich your quiche will be. The lower fat content, the more healthy it will be. But rich is better. It is, I promise. But you can also do sort of if you're really feeling, oh, I shouldn't put in that much cream, do partially milk, partially cream. It'll work out just fine. I've done it multiple ways. Anyway, you need 1.5 cups. Put it in with your eggs, and then just use a whisk, a wire whisk, and just beat it up. Now, if my husband was here, I would allow him to sort of do this job for me because he does a great job, and he makes it so it's really foamy. You can do that, or you can just do what I do, which is just until you have sort of the egg is all broken down and the milk is incorporated. You'll know that's happened because your milk will turn just a little bit more of a yellow color because, of course, you've now incorporated those egg yolks into it. Once you have your egg yolks incorporated into your milk, then you're going to add your other ingredients. So again, at this point, if you want ham, add it. If you want carrots and onions, which is what I'm going to do, add it. So any vegetable or other type of meat product that you want, all you do is just dump it in. You can add as much or as little as you want. I would not go anything less than 1/4 to 1/2 cup of any one thing. All total, the volume of things that you want to add to your mixture at this point should be around 1 cup and 1.5 cups to 1.5 cups of meat, vegetables, or other things. Cheese, of course, is going to be separate. The original quiche Lorraine did not have cheese in it, but they really quickly realized that cheese makes everything better, so why wouldn't you add a little bit of cheese? As sort of a binding ingredient, you're going to take between 1 cup and 1.5 cups of cheese, and you're just going to add a little bit of flour. And I always like to make it in a dish that I can then use the lid. And you're just going to shake it up a little bit to get the flour so that it's binding to the cheese. And that just makes it so that your cheese isn't sort of clumped together in your quiche. Add your cheese with the flour around it to your mixture. And at this point, don't use your whisk, because what's going to happen is that all those ingredients are just going to get stuck inside your whisk, and that's really annoying. So just grab a different spoon and incorporate it, just like that. If you think salt will help add to your flavor, add a little bit of salt. If you think pepper will help add to your flavor, add a little bit of pepper. If you have choosy people in your family or people who are watching their salt intake, don't add it now and just make sure it's on the table so that those who aren't watching their salt intake or those who don't have a problem with pepper can add it themselves. You can add it now or later, it doesn't really matter. Once you have that incorporated, you're going to take your pie dough that has been baked. So at this point you want it to still be warm. So you've heated up the oven to already bake this, you might as well just keep it heated. You're going to lower the temperature just a little bit. So again, to bake this, to get this into just a regular pie form, it's going to be about 450 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just a little over 200 Celsius. Then you turn your oven down to 375 degrees Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius. And while that's sort of cooling down, that's when you add together all of your ingredients. You want to make sure that because you have the liquid, which is the egg and the milk, and then you have your solids, you want to make sure that you're dispersing those fairly evenly. You don't want to have just a big lump of your solids in the middle and then only egg around the edges. So just use your spoon or your spatula and just make sure that you are pushing all that delicious carrot, egg, ham, bacon, whatever it is that you've added to your quiche, just make sure that it gets pushed out to the sides. And that's all you have to do. Once you're at this stage, you're going to put this into your preheated oven. Again, 375 Fahrenheit or 280 Celsius. Put it into the oven and let it bake for about 50 minutes until the crust is golden brown and the top of the egg has a nice sort of crisp look. We'll show that to you in about 50 minutes. So after about 50 minutes in a 375 Fahrenheit or 180 Celsius oven, your quiche should look something like this. You can see that the center has of course completely firmed up and has gotten just a little bit brown and crispy around the edges, and your dough has gotten brown and crispy as well. The final test to make sure that it's ready, just take a butter knife and insert it in the middle of your quiche. If it comes out clean, meaning that none of the egg mixture sticks, you're done. You need to let this set for about 10 minutes and then just cut into pieces and serve, and everyone will love it. And again, if they're worried about, oh, it must have taken you such a long time, isn't quiche hard? Be like, oh yeah, it's really hard. But no, it's not really hard, and it's really fun. I hope you try this recipe. Let us know what you think of it. Let us know what ingredients you added that I left out of mine. Just let us know how it goes.